We've got Darius on the call. He is the portfolio manager for Alt, so he is intimately involved with curating each selection for liquid auctions, and he's here to kind of run us through some of his thought processes and what cards he's checking out this round. So, Darius, welcome.
How's it going, Cassidy?
Great. So first auction of 2023. Last year was a big year. We ran a lot of rounds. You saw a lot of stuff go through. Coming into this one, which card are you kind of most excited to see go through this liquid auction?
For sure. I think personally, when I look through auctions, I like to try to find cards that don't come up for sale very often. And so in this auction, we are running a Harden NT PSA 1010. Now that's a card that sells pretty frequently in other grades, but as a PSA 1010, there's only 2 of them. And the last time a PSA 10 sold was in like August of 2020. So over 2 years, the Sixers are looking very formidable, and Harden's having a really good year. I think a lot of people were curious to see how he would bounce back from a pretty subpar performance in the playoffs last year, but he's putting up huge numbers again. The Sixers look as good as any team in the East, even though the East is pretty deep. But I think him and Embiid look poised to take that team pretty far. And obviously a championship has been the only thing missing from Harden's very impressive resume. So to get one of the only 2 PSA 1010s, probably won't see one of these for another 2 years, given that that's how often these come up for sale. So I think now's still kind of a good time to potentially buy low on him before they heat up going into the playoffs.
Nice. And then obviously NFL playoffs are right around the corner. We've seen a lot of crazy things happening around the league, a lot of competition going into playoffs and the postseason. Who in the football space are you adding to your watch list this round?
Yeah, I will definitely have my eyes on this Josh Allen gold vinyl, as I'm sure a lot of people will. It's the biggest football card in the auction. I think he was probably the early season MVP candidate. You know, he beat Mahomes in the regular season. He had a lot of really big games, and then he kind of tailed off. But I think he proved last year that he elevates his game in the playoffs. And so if they go on to make a really late stage playoff run, this is a great card. I mean, there's only 5 of them. PSA 10, I'm sure there's probably only two or three of them. So this is legitimately one of his best cards. And if this is the year that he finally takes that jump and wins a Super Bowl, then long term, this is a huge card. So again, pretty or potentially could be a good time to buy it if they win the Super Bowl. But obviously, if you're buying him to hold long term, then it doesn't really matter if they lose this year. But either way, I think it's a great asset for any Allen or just any football collector, investor, whatever you are.
Nice. And then say I have $5,000 just sitting around. What is the card under 5K that you would pick out as one I should purchase?
Yeah, this one was tough because there's a lot of interesting cards in that range. So, I mean, we have a lot of like fun RPAs. We have a George Bush auto. We got some Pokemon cards, got some Kobe autos. But the one that stood out to me was this Iverson flawless auto. It's a 1/1. He's pictured wearing the blue old Sixers jerseys, just like a kind of iconic Iverson look right there. It's very clearly says 1/1 on the card. It's got the nice holofoil. The autograph is perfectly centered. It's just a really nice card. And I'm kind of a traditional, like old school, I guess, or early 2000s, as I would refer to old school basketball. But this is one of those guys that I really loved watching growing up. And Iverson just does not have a lot of on-card autos. So this is a really nice one, graded BGS 9 from the earlier flawless years. This is a 2013 one. So just a really beautiful card of one of the greatest basketball players ever.
Yeah, and at a really reasonable price point, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's a good card. Well, great. Get your bids in. Auctions close January 19th, and thanks for joining us.